What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Devo and Chris Joe Show. Now, this morning we have on a special guest. Before I introduce him, I want to give him a proper introduction and kind of break down everything that he's done, because he's a national champion, but he was also an All-American as a player. So he was born in England. He comes over, plays soccer for Hartwick, becomes an All-American there, Hall of Famer at the school, assistant coach at Fairfield University, ends up being head coach at Aniata. Oh, how do you say it? Aniata? And then Oneonta, sorry. And then he ends up being head coach at his alma mater, Hartwick, for 7 years before taking over at Syracuse in 2010. Coach Ian McIntyre, I appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on the first national championship in program history.
Oh, thank you so much, guys, for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is special cloth. This is special cloth.
Absolutely. Q's family. So, Coach, you've been Big East Coach of the Year, ACC Coach of the Year, and obviously this year you were National Coach of the Year. But in your 13th season with Q's, what does it mean to you to get the first national championship in program history?
It's very, very special. Look, you guys know how much we all kind of take pride in representing Syracuse University, and just to watch the reactions. And I've really enjoyed watching our fan base, our student body, obviously our kids enjoy this, and it's been very, very special. Last week, we're still trying to process it a little bit, but it's been just remarkable to enjoy it with our guys.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you this real quick. What did you say to your team in the locker room before the national championship game? And then what did you tell them after winning the game in the locker room?
Before the game is you're trying to find the right words. And we'd been on this fantastic postseason run with obviously the ACC run, 3 games in a week of playing the caliber of teams of UNC, Virginia, and then to beat Clemson in the final, and then to go on the run in the so we've been playing a lot. There'd been a lot of talking. Sometimes less is more, and as I get older as a coach, it's using the guys and using their voices that you guys you've been in those moments. You've been in the lot. Sometimes if it comes from players and leaders on the team, it can be as impactful. Look, realistically, it can be more impactful than words from a coach. So getting that balance right, and during that run of trusting the voices of not just the leaders in our locker room, but the guys from the bench, the players that. The strength of our group was our group, and so having those moments to enjoy them, but then using those guys to have those. There's no one word, right, or one sentence, or one. Look, I'm getting old, so when I said to the guys, I'm not going to have a Winston Churchill moment here. Half the room said, "Who's Winston Churchill?" So it's I had to kind of dummy it down and say, okay, how about a Rocky Balboa moment? And then guys started nodding and saying, all right, coach, now we can relate to you old man. So it's using our group and trusting our group in the right, and that's what our guys did the whole year. The moment was never too big for them, and when asked, individuals stepped up, and then this was a tough group. And I'm looking at, I know you guys are, relentless warriors out there. And there's a difference in being fake tough and real tough. And they didn't need to talk about it. These guys responded on the biggest stage.
Now, just bring us back, to 2010. You get the opportunity to come and coach, Syracuse soccer team. And, at that particular time, I guess the team wasn't doing so hot, let's just say. Right. So how much of a challenge was that for you to come in and change the narrative and work so hard and do everything that you were able to do in the time that you got here until now?
Yeah, it's that's been an enjoyable part, Chris, of this last week, to enjoy this a national championship with the guys during that time as well. We won 2 games our first year. We won 3 our second. It's a dark time. You can spin it. You can. We're in sales as coaches, right? But it's to have those guys believe in what you're doing. And the Alex Bonos, the Skylar Thomases, the Jordan Morells, that they don't. You're selling them what you're hoping to do. You're looking for them to buy into an environment and a of what we're trying to build. So. They have. We started, and it started before then as well. Like our alums during this process have been fantastic, and it's been great to enjoy them. But you're right; those first couple of years, that there's no magic wand. It's hard work. It's surrounding yourself with good people, and as I said, that there's no shortcuts. So it's that foundation is laid by hard work and believing in what you're doing, and most importantly, good people that embrace that challenge and are looking to try to do something a little bit special.
I think that's the key word right there, is embracing the challenge. Coach, how much of obviously, as Eric mentioned before, being an All-American, at Hardwick University, how much does that play into you, kind of connecting a little bit differently with your players? Even when the times are bad, 'cause I'm sure we've been players, we've had, like you called it, darker times where we know you go on a losing streak or whatever the case may be, and you think the world's going to come crashing down. At the end of the day, it's a game that we're playing that we're supposed to have fun playing. And, there's sometimes, the losing and the pressure kind of could get to you. So how much does that play in, the fact that you were able to play at such a high level, you could get kids to, reel it back in a little bit and just, not to think too far ahead and just kind of live in the moment?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you talk to 18 to 22-year-olds and you have a look at me. I look old, right? Like, how can I relate to those guys? But positional perspective, I think, we've produced some really good, I'm a washed up, unathletic centre back, so a defender. So I am hard, but I do take pride in we've produced some really good ones in Miles Robinson, Kamal Miller, just competed at a World Cup. If it hadn't been for injury, Miles would have been in the World Cup as well, representing the US. We've had some good defenders. I surround myself with a good staff that has a lot of experience. Yuka Maselin had a better playing. I was an All-American, but he's played in Champions League and UEFA Cup games. Big moments. Sean Lawler went to a championship game at Le Moyne. The coaching experience as players is important, but I also think it's making sure that the real important guys are the players on the team. The leaders. I refer to my older guys as the cultural architects of our program, and if they're leading by example, from what they do in practice to what they do in games, and I think, as a coach, if you're creating that environment to help your players continue to develop, we talk about here, we want to see if we can create an environment to allow our guys to be the best version of themselves. That doesn't mean they're going to be the best version of themselves as a player. They continue to develop, and hopefully those that move on will continue to improve and grow. But we're looking for our guys to be the best version of themselves on and off the soccer pitch. And then what I'm looking for, Chris, from our guys is we have high demands, and I want, if our guys can provide the best of themselves, and we get the best from all of our guys, then we want the best for those. And if that's so. One of the challenges we've had the last few years is our best young players are having opportunities to move on to Major League Soccer. We've got a draft tonight. My team may look a little bit different tomorrow than it does today. But that's a good problem, right, guys? Like,
absolutely.
As I said, if we want what's best for our guys, and we're going to support them here, and if they take tremendous pride in representing and wearing our stripes and competing, it's a privilege to be playing for Syracuse. It's a privilege to be competing in the ACC, which is an absolute gauntlet to run every year. And then if, we've had a chance to compete at the national level this year. So long-winded answer. For me, that was a long time ago. If I'm doing my job, I'm surrounding my guys and challenging my guys with good players, and we're creating an environment where they can continue to be better. But now, having said that, no player walks into our locker room and can be talking about other stuff. And, I need to play well here at Syracuse because I want to be a pro. That happens on it. That's an end product of the team doing well. If players do well, the team does well. If the team does well, then guys will have an opportunity to take that next step and move closer towards their dreams.
Because everybody wants a winner.
Absolutely. Coach, let's kind of stay on that topic, talking about your staff. You had almost, I think, 20 guys go on to play in the MLS. I mean, it says a lot about your staff and the player development that you guys got going on. What do you guys really do to prepare them, not only for now and for winning here, but also prepare them for, their ultimate dream, which is playing professionally?
I think we've now got credibility with guys coming in, but also outside that, my day over this last, today and the last week is talking about our guys, if it's to GMs, if it's coaches, if it's people in the front office. And I think when people talk about Syracuse players, you know what you're going to get. If a player comes through our program, you're going to get a really hard-working, selfless, committed young man that will find a way to help the team. So be that in the last few years, if it was DeAndre Kerr signing a homegrown with TFC last year, if it was Tajon Buchanan, Ryan Raposo, Miles Robinson, all these guys, you know what you're going to get from a Syracuse guy, and that's part of our job. Then, Eric, is during your time here is to find, recruiting is all about telling guys you love them, right? So you spend all this time saying wonderful things, and you're awesome, and this is what you can do, and this is what this. But then part of our job is to help, if a guy, we've got slightly different rules than you do in basketball, but so you can jump straight to the pros if you want to, as a young 17, 18-year-old in the soccer world. So what is the reason? How can we help you? So a big part of that is look at the next as our guys, and we may have 4, 5, 6 guys tonight that will see their names and get drafted and be part of a preseason camp and be part of Major League Soccer starting in January. I always worry about my guys until they sign that second contract, because then I know that they're a pro. But it's also when they go into that environment is have we helped them become the best version of themselves? And you guys know better than anyone. You get into that professional environment. You're now competing with older guys that have mortgages and kids, and they look at the young talent coming through, and you're now competition. And so it's not a love fest. So it's fine. Can our guys be ready for that whenever that opportunity presents itself? But they realize that it's a business, and so providing that toughness and for our guys to realize that when they go into that next environment, that now they're getting paid, and you pick up a paycheck, and there's got to be some value that you bring and add to now a professional coach whose tenure as that pro coach is dependent upon his young superstar doing well. So hopefully we are not just the X's and O's. It's not just spending time, on the soccer pitch. It's helping our guys to continue to mature so that they are ready to embrace this challenge at the next level.
Hey, Coach, real quick, you talked about recruiting and changes within the team, guys leaving. and I know in every sport transfers are crazy now, and I know you had a lot of transfers come in, a lot of international guys who are maybe adapting to the culture over here. How hard is it to be able to get those guys to mesh that quickly as a team and to be able to win? Because I mean, it's a what have you done for me lately now type of, that's just what sports is, you know what I mean? So you have to win games right away. How hard is that for you and your staff to be able to mesh those guys together, get comfortable quickly, and win games?
If the transfer portal, the transfer piece is an important part of the college landscape now, and getting that right is very important and difficult and challenging. It comes down to, we recruit talent, but we're recruiting character. Making sure that our locker room is ready for that, to embrace that, to support the new guys. I also gravitate towards players. Yeah, look, we can all see talent, but making sure they're the right fit. I like guys that have an edge, something to prove. And so some of our transfer students that have done great this year have been maybe a little bit atypical. Now, Levante Johnson came in from Seattle last year. Is from Ontario, so getting closer to home was, to have two transfers. He became a first-team All-American. Nate Opoku coming out of the NAIA as a third-team All-American. So you look smart when you bring in transfers, two All-American transfers. But then it's that makes good, I guess. But it's also Lorenzo Baselli is a Division III. Junior college player. Abdi Salim is a transfer from Buff State, a Division III program. Christian Curdy from Marist. So I like guys who have something to prove. Colin Byros was fantastic. So these may not be blue chip guys initially, but I also think they fit into the way that we play. They've got that grittiness, they've got that toughness, and they're looking for an opportunity. So it's not just a case of coming in and thinking, this is it's about that individual. They've got to buy into, if the team does well, they're going to get opportunities, and ultimately they're going to be in the shop window, and then some wonderful things can happen.
Oh yeah, no question. Guys with a little chip on their shoulder, it always helps.
I think I'm talking to a couple of those guys as well, right?
For sure.
Guys buying into their roles too. It's only one ball, right? I mean, everyone can't score. Everyone can't be the star. It's about getting guys who want to buy into that team concept and play their role. I mean, like in any sport, you're playing basketball. You can't have 5 guys shooting the ball every time. You got a guy who's going to rebound, who's going to play defense, who's going to be that, that vocal leader. It's roles that you have to have within that team to be able to accomplish the ultimate team goal, which is winning a national championship. And that's a testament to what you were able to get your guys to do, buy into those roles, because like you said, they were stars at their respective places where they were before. Now to be able to come in and, have all that talent, but hey, you can't score now. I know you're a scorer, but you got to be the defender. You got to be the guy who's talking more. That's tough to do for a coaching staff.
No question.
Certainly. The nature of, especially this last couple of years as well, with regards to COVID, players getting an extra year of eligibility, it's been an opportunity for all college sports, I think, but certainly at our level, to have deeper rosters. One of the questions going into the year, like we had a roster, the biggest we've ever had, 34, which initially the questions were, it's too big. How are we going to keep everyone happy? How's everyone? It became a strength, guys. When you can get, if you have 34 young men all pulling in the same direction, it's a powerful force. And the strength of our team were the guys that didn't play as much, having them, some of the memories I'll take away is when a group of players that weren't going to dress for our ACC tournament walked into the room down in Cary, North Carolina. The room went crazy. Like to have, a big part of what we talked about with our team was everyone matters and no one's left behind. In our final championship game, unfortunately, we had an illness with one of our freshmen who hadn't played a minute all year. The biggest reaction, he walked on the practice field. We flew him down the day before our championship game, and it was they were those moments. The coach didn't need to say anything. It was the guys gave him a standing ovation. He walks in and he's just with us. And that's when you know you've got a special group. And it's you're not worrying about playing time. And it's about, how do I find a role to help us? You know, our bench needs to be better than the Indiana bench. Our guys coming off the bench need to be better than their guys, and that was the challenge. Coaches need to be better than their coaching staff, and if we can, if we can have our whole group pulling in the same direction, such a powerful force.
So, Coach, you know, they say, you know, I'm sure this is a saying in all sports, but they say you got to have a short memory. Whether you lose, you know, you have another game to prepare for. And if you win, you know, you still got another game to prepare for. So you can't be never too high, never too low. After winning a national championship, I mean, now the season is over. You were the best soccer team in college soccer. So now what's the mindset going forward? How long do you have guys celebrate or kind of enjoy the moment before it's back to the drawing board and back to work? Because now you got the target on your back. You know, everyone's gunning for you. So what's the mindset going into, you know, just after? Was there a parade? You know, or anything of those sorts? I mean, it is December in Syracuse. I mean,
you guys, you had the 2 seasons and you kept going. We got back at 2:30 in the morning. Jesse Edwards is out there with a group. He was fantastic. Awesome. And then our guys, you know, they've got final exams that week. So it's, but it's been. So us going so late, we played from August all the way up to finals. I hope, Chris, that our guys, and I know that they've enjoyed it, that there's a lot of smiles in our team. I said to start with that I've really enjoyed watching everyone enjoy this and be part of it. So I want the guys to enjoy it for a little bit. Look, from a coaching staff, we worry straight away, right? You realize that that's the nature of it. You got a transfer portal open, and you're on both sides. We realize tonight, it's going to be bittersweet. I'm going to be high-fiving and hugging my guys, but we're also going to realize that we got a couple of guys we were hoping would come back for a 5th year that will probably have some opportunities to be pros in. So it's very fluid, but that's my job. I want my guys, I want my fans to enjoy the holidays. I want our Syracuse fans to really keep enjoying this for a while. And it's the coach can worry about putting it together. And then when the guys come back in January, we're back to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, last question. We'll get you out of here. We appreciate you stopping on with us. I've been driving around the community. I've seen a lot of signs and billboards congratulating you guys winning the national championship. I saw Coach Felicia Jack. She wore the soccer jersey when she was coaching her game. I mean, what does all this, support mean to you, from the community, from the university? Because, like me and Chris Joe, we were basketball players, but we hung out with, soccer players and lacrosse and football players. It's, Syracuse is one big community, one big family. Talk about that support, from the university and the community and what it really means.
It's been magic. It's very humbling, guys. It's to see. You're right. Like, we take a lot of pride. One of the things is, and you guys, as I said, know it as well as anyone. You bounce around the facilities and you watch how hard everyone works. We are surrounded with pro athletes that train that way. Pro coaches, it becomes contagious. It's wonderful to be part of that. And, we come and watch the basketball players and the football team, but it's not just the competition part. That's where everyone gets to see that. We see you guys training, right? We see all the guys. We see the rowers out there early, and we see, you watch the cross-country guys running this time of years with icicles stuck to their noses, and it's it's great, right? Yeah, you guys are too soft though. You want to. That's why you're an indoor sport, but it's
right.
But the pride to wear an orange jersey, we see that. And then to see, very humbling, we had some tough weather conditions in our tournament run with our home, but for a packed stadium with our student athletes, our student body, it's just been very special, and it just reminds you of why we do this and why we're here and how special this Syracuse community is, and it's just a real privilege to be part of it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, man, we really appreciate you coming on. Again, congratulations on the national championship. Big time. Take some time to relax. I know you want to hop right back into it, but take some time to enjoy it. Enjoy the holidays with your friends and family. And hopefully we'll see you again down the road. Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Oh, hey, shout out to Coach Mack. That was love right there, Joe.
Super love. Shout out to Coach Mack, national champ, baby. All that hard work. You feel like you've been climbing the mountain for so long. You've had, breakthroughs, and then maybe sometimes you slip and take a couple steps back, but all of it is worth it when you get to that summit and you're the only one standing there, you and your team. Fuck, great feeling, man. It's a great feeling.
And he seems like a really, really, really great guy too, huh?
100%.
Seems like a good dude.
You could just tell. You could tell, man.
Straight away, mate.
Yeah, no question. Kind of looked like a transporter. And he's a great, great, great guy, man. You could just tell the energy is infectious.
Yeah.
He's you could tell guys are going to want to play for him.
No doubt.
You could tell. Not an asshole.
Hey, Joe.
He's, straightforward.
Yeah, that's what exactly. Hey, Joe. Well, I mean, I know, like for Syracuse, like it's basketball, football a lot of times, right? Like that's the main focus for the community sports. But I don't think they understand how. Oh, lacrosse. Sorry. I mean, I didn't even fucking know what lacrosse was till I got here. That's crazy. But to be able to win a national championship, regardless of, I don't give a fuck if it's water polo. You know what I'm saying? To be able, you got to know like the sacrifice, commitment, consistency it takes. Like he said, going in there every day, seeing those guys put in the work day in and day out. They might have a bad game. They going through a loss. They're still in there the next day. They got to. It takes it's a big time commitment. You know what I'm saying? Just think about even when you're fucking losing and you're the worst team, you're like the time commitment is crazy. You know what I mean? But now you're kind of just dragging through.
It's maybe you're dragging through, but when you're losing, it's probably more film. It's even more of a commitment at that point. You're spending more time because you don't ever want to stay at that level, right? You're trying to excel. You're trying to surpass what you're at. So it's even more time putting into little details, because when you're good, when you're a powerhouse in whatever sport, you could sometimes get by with coasting, and that's kind of just the truth. When you have a super athlete, he's not going to go in there and do plyometrics all day because he has a 43-inch vertical already. I could jump out the gym. I don't need to jump any higher. You know what I mean? So when you're really good, a team is really good, whether basketball, football, you're going to have a group of guys who, you know what, let's just go ahead. We could go to McDonald's before the game, come out, just like, like you said, you told a story a while ago about you getting some Chinese food in Vegas and going out and scoring 30 in AAU. Like you just were that type of player. And then there's the other guys who have to goddamn, there's the guys who have to pack lunch with broccoli, cauliflower, celery, the little low-fat dip that have to do everything perfect in order to just compete, bro. So definitely it's tough. It's tough. There's levels. So when you get to that national championship level, and when you got teams that could do it over and over again, teams in college basketball who have won multiple national championships, bro, different eras, it's not easy. It's not easy, man. So you got to take your hat off to those guys, hat off to Coach Mack and the soccer team for doing what they did.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the whole soccer team this year. Coach Mack seems like he'd be a cool guy to play for. Players coach, like you said, Joe, I think a lot of coaches can overcoach, and now their players are overthinking. Instead of, you got to let them go out there and play and kind of learn from their mistakes. Yeah, you're going to let them know what the mistake was, but you can't. It can't be that constant in and out, because the kid will never
micromanaging. You got to just let them. You got to grow through those mistakes, man. But We're here, E. Another game last night against Pitt at the Dome.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
The
it.
JMA Dome, JMA Wireless. You know what I'm saying? This
It's
ain't no
that.
free
It's not
promo.
just the
Unless you go.
dome. It's not just the
Yeah, it's
dome.
just the Dome.
I'm saying JMA. It's that. I mean,
Yeah,
shout out to them,
JMA,
though. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
unless they got cell phones. Let me get a free cell phone or something. But look,
Yeah. What's
Pitt,
going
man,
on?
let's talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, hey, Jordan, let's try to get JMA on board as a sponsor. Let's try to get them to get us,
I
the
mean, what's
iPhone
up? For
14.
real.
Something. What's going on? What's
Hold on,
going
real
on,
quick,
man?
before we get into this, because we're gonna try to keep it positive because the guys have been playing well for the most part. These younger guys,
Yes.
even in the loss yesterday, you saw some young guys come in who haven't been playing a lot and make a big impact. But JMA, pizza shop on the corner, I don't know, something. You got to come in and give us some sponsorship or something, man. We're trying to go from
Yeah.
1 to 2 days a week so you guys can hear us talk about Q's basketball, interviewing Coach Maggins.
Have
Come
more
on, man. We
guests.
got
Come on.
good content, man. Get my guy
Yep. Stop
Jordan
playing
some
with it.
bits. You know, we trying to make all that happen. You know,
You need
but
those. You need them.
but no, Joe. Let's get to the games, man. And I guess we'll start obviously with last night's game. 35 minutes. We thought we were going to lose anyway. 35. The last really 6-7 minutes of the game is when we turned it over, and it was obviously defensively, and then Joe Girard. He started to make shots, and that was a big difference. But again, bro, these guys have been playing good, man. Like for what we have, and again, I don't want to use the freshmen as excuse, being a young team, but at the same time, like these guys are playing against older guys who have been in these situations, so they know what to do. We got freshmen who. This is hitting them in the face for the first time. This is the first time they're going through this situation. So a lot of times they might make a wrong read or make a wrong decision, and they have to learn from it. We have to learn on the go. We talk about Copeland coming in last night, not having really any time the previous 6-7 games. I don't know. He comes in and his energy just makes a difference, bro. Just his energy. Not even him scoring the ball all the time. It's him being around the basket. Yeah, and his energy made him, get an 1-3 or get a little pull up. He's getting deflections, getting blocked shots. Like that's the type of like Benny. That's what you got to have. Just energy. We talk like Joe, and it's super disappointing because obviously he's the X Factor guy, and I think we need him. We need that third guy. I talked about it on the show last night. Me and Brian Higgins. Who's that third guy behind Joe and Judah? Bringing that scoring punch. We thought it was maybe Chris Bell. Benny was really supposed to be you because Chris Bell's a freshman. Like, Benny, we've seen you get 13 and 8, 15 and 6. We've seen you do it, but it's always like this. It's always like this. And if we think
about Jesse.
Jesse,
really
you know what? He did.
Yeah.
I think Jesse yesterday, obviously teams are going to be more physical with him. They're going to start pushing him away from the rim. He has to be a little bit more physical, but he has to learn how to be able to get it by running the court, early buckets, or getting it off the backboards, just dunk. Because it's not going to be a lot of, if they're double teaming you when you get it in the post, you got to get it out quick. You know what I mean? Find the shooter. The guards got to help him cut down the middle. But Joe, back to the forwards, and you know this.
Yeah.
As you played on some of the best Syracuse teams in program history, right? Number one in the country. We have great teams when we have our forwards producing, and that's on both ends of the floor. Scoring the basketball, spacing the floor out, being athletic, and then on the other end defensively, just causing havoc, just being active. And I've heard these guys, they don't know what they're doing in the zone. They're freshmen. Just go and be active. You know what I'm saying? You make up. We talked about this how many times, Joe? You make up for half of your mistakes by just bringing energy and running around, being active, talking, communicating. Those guys are not doing that, Joe.
You gotta damn near psych yourself out. Yeah, I got ball. Watch out, street, baseline runner, whatever. So now you engage. Now just by you talking, now you engage, and now you start realizing, oh shit, the fuck is going on here? I'm engaged. Now my feet are moving. Now I'm on the tip of my toes. I'm bouncy. I'm bouncing. I'm reacting instead of on the flight of the pass. Instead of when the person receives the ball, now I'm a little step too late. especially today in college basketball, with the way that kids are shooting the ball, man. If you're not there on the catch, it's going up and it's probably going to go in. But one thing real quick before I get back to the Fords, I want to say that remember last year we were saying that Jesse is having trouble going from under the basket, getting out to that baseline, that corner shooter. He did a good job yesterday, man. I know
Great
he fouled
job.
the one guy at one time, but he's been doing a phenomenal job of getting out there and kind of just creating the extra pass or not being able to let that guy get the shot off. So shout out to Jesse for being able to get out there, because last year we were on him for not being able to get out there. We were saying that's a far-ass distance. That's something that has to happen in an emergency situation. Still pretty far.
He's getting there.
But he's getting there. So shout out to Jesse. But, the Fords, we've been talking about it, like you said. When our Fords are rebounding, at the end of the day, you speak about some of the teams I played on. We had Wes. Obviously, he averaged about 7 rebounds. Then you had Rick Jackson on the other side. He was averaging about 8, 9. Like, that's a lot of rebounds, between 2 forwards. And then, you got guys coming off the bench. CJ Fair, he's rebounding off the bench, chipping in.
And Rick ain't even really the fastest guy, Joe. Rick's not super athletic or fast, but he's active.
Positioning, and he knew what it was. Positioning, okay, the shot's going up. I'm going to go find a body. If he's not going to get the rebound, one thing Rick Jackson did do was box out great. And he's going to make sure that guy doesn't get the ball and someone else, a guard, could come down and get it. But, we got to get our force to rebound a little bit better. I know we sound like a broken record, but that's definitely something that needs to happen for us to continue to have success. Because, again, we've been playing well. We won 4 out of our last 5, if I'm not mistaken. We've been playing well. This game started off real shaky, and at the end of the day, they were making shots, and we weren't making shots. We were 1 for 15 from the 3. I think they were like 10 for 15 at a point. So obviously they were, 30 points from the 3-point line. That's tough. They were making all types of shots. I mean, running to the left side of the court, throwing the ball up, trying to cause a foul. The ball's going in. So they were hot. They were making shots. But once you get in that rhythm as a team and as a player, you've been in that zone before. I've been there before. When you see a couple go down, I'm feeling like I won't miss tonight. So, getting guys out of their comfort zone, letting them do something different. Again, it comes back to that energy and effort that you were talking about on the defensive end, just making them on the flight of the pass. Go ahead, make them put the ball on the floor now. Let them go shoot a floater over Jesse.
Yeah, find the shooters.
What they do to beat us, find the shooters. If that's what they do to win, then so be it. But we can't. The zone is designed for you to shoot threes. Yes, I understand that, because we're playing the percentages. But when a team makes 5, 6, 7, I mean, it's time to extend the zone out before coach has to tell you. It almost has to be instinctual to adjust. You know what I mean? And
you know that as a player. He doesn't even have to tell you.
Yeah. You know that. You should know that. Let's just put it that way. You should know that as a player. Instincts will kick in like, damn, this guy in the corner, he done hit 3. So I know I'm going to shade a little bit closer to him, because they're hurting us more on the perimeter than they are on the inside. Right, so I'm going to shade out a little bit. They were getting, but then you had, what they were doing too. They put a guard in the high post, just like Georgetown would do, and they'll put a guard in the high post to make a play or get to the basket. We saw guards get fouled and won at some points,
and we didn't rebound either. We didn't rebound either.
All that being said, down almost 20, if not 20 plus, and then some way, somehow, some subs are made. Malik Brown comes in, gives us some energy. Loose ball, hits it off the dude, goes out of bounds. Copeland comes in. Like you said, energy, hits a pull-up jump shot. Even when he took it, I'm like, ooh. But then I was like, oh, all right, bet. Walks his man down, rhythm 3, has he pull up, and 1. And I'm like, okay, we might got something going. We down 11-12. Like, now I'm watching the game a little differently. We put on the press, which maybe, we could all sit here and say it could have been done earlier or not. But the press worked. The press is going to speed a team up no matter what. They're going to try to get it up the court fast, and that leads to turnovers. When you get sped up, it leads to turnovers, because that's just what happens when you press. They played into what we wanted to do, and we have an opportunity to win the game at there at the end, and we weren't able to get the shot I believe that we wanted to, or that we should have got.
Yeah, bro, and I'm gonna first off, I thought Pittsburgh did a great job in the first half, especially really
Shout out
into
to
the
JP,
second half.
man.
Who's the, JP? Yeah. Shout out Jake. I seen Jake
Yeah,
pursued you on the bench with that
I
comb
seen him.
over.
Oh yeah, that shit was smooth though. He looked like a straight Goodfellas mobster with that one, boy. He looked
Yeah,
good.
good. Straight assistant. They give me the here's the daily schedule, coach. No, but I thought Pittsburgh did a great job of being patient, moving the ball, getting it in the high post, kicking it back out to the shooters, and all the way until like probably middle of the second half. But that we talked about Justin. I mean, Cummings had, I don't know, he had 7 threes. Three
Yeah,
times I saw Judah and Joe, and then somebody go under the ball screen after he just made 4 threes. Like, that's about being aware, just knowing where the Joe. If we're playing pickup and my man hit 4 in a row, I'm not letting him get the ball. I can't let him get the
facts.
ball, or like you said, I gotta make him do something else. I gotta make him put it on the ground, or do something that he's uncomfortable doing.
Yeah,
We did a fantastic job of fighting back, right? And I thought the press, did a good job of making them uncomfortable. Even though I thought Pittsburgh played, they some unforced errors. They played sloppy down at the end. Like they were rushing shots. They don't have a true point guard who really kind of got the ball and commanded it. But again, you still got to give Q's credit. Those last 6-7 minutes, those guys were
they
causing
fought.
havoc. They were being aggressive. But bro, you can't. How hard is it to play like that, man? To play from behind that whole time and then really, that last 6-7 minutes try to get a burst at the end. That's hard. And the two,
Yeah,
Joe, going back to, I'm kind of rewinding a little bit, going back to the forwards. It's important to me to have a guy, and this is my take, to have a guy really show up and be consistent, whether it's Benny Williams, Chris Bell, Justin Taylor. I love Malik Brown, but I just think we need a guy who could score. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
he does so much. He does everything that you want him to do as far as like hustle plays, role player. He's a guy that could, be a garbage guy, get the cleanup buckets until his offensive game develops more. I think we really need a guy like Benny to show up or Chris to show up because, bro, and tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you could do it by committee. You could have like all those guys like come in and do it. But bro, you need to have that consistency and the confidence of like, that one guy to be able to make it happen. He needs to be consistent himself. Like, you need that one guy. Like, okay, we could sub
yeah.
him in rather than be like, all right, I need to hopefully, these 4 guys, these 5 guys can do it by combination. That shit too. You can't.
Yeah, it's
Now
tough.
you betting on 4 or 5 guys. Benny, I need you to be
Russian
consistent every
roulette.
game, bro.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt,
Chris
no doubt.
Bell,
It's good.
like,
You got your guards up top. You got your guards. You got Jesse, who you could kind of you could rely on. You need that wing, that could shoot the ball a bit, get to the basket, get your rebound. That's a hybrid. Especially for Syracuse, you got to be able to do a little bit of everything, but you got to help with the scoring load because, like you said, now we're dependent on 3, 4-ish guys to make up for the things that one person should be able to do, which is,
that's what I'm saying.
so it's very difficult at that point, to play like that, so
And how
like
you
you say,
got?
the consistency is crucial.
I mean, coach never played 10, 11 guys, not even 9 guys. Like that's like now, like there's no consistency in the lineup. Like you could win some games like that. You can win some games like throwing those guys, but you can't consistently win games like that. That's just me. I don't think you could win games where because guys are going to be getting 4 or 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. There's no really flow or rhythm to where you could really get what can I get out of this guy consistently. You know what I'm saying? You'll never know because you always hoping that these 4 or 5 guys can give you, like you said, what one guy could give you. Like if we could get that guy, Benny, Chris, I really want Chris to like just light a fucking fire up under him or something, bro, because he could do it. He has the athletic ability to be active in the zone and be disruptive. Like even the first, he can shoot the ball. It's like he do something wrong and then he just check out, and then coach talk to him and then he out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like mentally you got to be able to push through that shit. And I know he's a freshman, but bro, we ain't fuck all that. You know what I mean? You on the floor and you playing ball. Like if I, bro, it's time to go. Ain't no like, oh well, yeah, maybe next game. Nah, bro, you out here. If I'm
You
playing
out
with
here
you
now.
and you rocking with me and we on the same court, we got to get it right now. Like, yeah, I understand it's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna make mistakes, but you got the one thing that I can't question is your effort and your energy. Or do
Yeah.
you want to even play? How the fuck are you out
Right.
here if you don't want to play? And you got 30,000 people watching you. I don't know what the crowd is. Obviously, it's not 30,000 anymore, but and all those people watching you on TV, you got to get motivated by somebody to play. That don't make sense to me. That's something that you can't. And Joe, you know it now
100%.
more than ever. Being a coach at a high level high school prep school who has multiple Division I guys on their team. They're talented. Their talent is there. That's not a question. There's a lot of fucking guys who are talented. Yo,
Facts.
bro, where's your effort? Are you gonna play hard every fucking play for me?
Are you
And
gonna
if
compete?
not, if you tired, yeah, are you gonna compete? You can't, yo, bro. That's something that you can't question, especially at this level. Why are we even asking that? Are you competing hard? What your effort? What the fuck? Like, I don't care if you go 0 for 12, 0 for 15. Yo, bro, I can't have you not playing hard, bro.
Yeah.
I can't
And
do
that's
it.
something
That's
that I see that more, like you mentioned, now than ever. In the sense where I have to tell guys that they have to compete. And what I try to teach, my kids is I don't really give a fuck if you're good right now. You're really trying to get you ready for the next level, right? And at the next level, what you're doing now is not going to fly. And then you'll end up on the bench. And then you'll be upset at somebody, but you won't be able to be upset at me because all you'll remember me saying is I told you to compete every day. I told you energy, effort, and enthusiasm, be engaged. And these are all the things that you're going to see at the next level. So I'm really trying to give you the blueprint and the cheat code to impress a coach and be like, damn, this kid kind of like he's moving like a D1 guy already. You know what I mean? But you can't question that. And as a coach now, I understand more than ever what coach used to preach to us. Like obviously in the
no
moment,
doubt.
bro, it's a lot of things that he said that I'm like, here we go again. Like here we go again. He's saying the same thing. But what he was doing was preparing us for the next level, which is being a pro. Right? So I'm trying to get these kids to understand, you got college, then you got, if you want to get paid, and I'm not even talking NBA because it's really most of you guys are not going to go to the league, but you could probably go play overseas, and that's not terrible. You could go get
Not at
paid to
all.
play basketball. That's your profession, right? So I understand, bro. I fully understand what coach was trying to get through to us, and it's hard, bro. In the moment, like you said, you're a young kid. You think you the shit. Coach just tripping again. I'm competing hard. If a coach is telling you to compete, trust me, you're not competing. If he has to tell you to compete, no matter what you believe you're doing, it's not enough, right? So whatever coach says, in one ear, receive the message, leave out the extras that he might put into the sentence, and retain what he said that's positive that could affect you and help you instead of thinking coach is on me, coach ain't giving me a fair opportunity, whatever the case may be, because he is at the end of the day, or else there wouldn't be 10, 11 guys out there getting minutes, right? He's doing that because he's thinking, like we said at the beginning of the year, was someone's playing bad, we have a reserve that damn near you guys are about neck and neck, but he might just be playing a little more for XYZ reason. So any given night, you bullshitting. Now, don't be surprised if Copeland come in and plays more next game because he came in and gave us 10 points, 10 and 5, energy. Don't be surprised if you see him. All game, you see him on the bench. What are you doing? He's cheering for his guys. You see him doing the extras on the bench. He's clapping. He's talking. He gets in and he's ready, bro. He's been engaged for 30 minutes for this game. He comes in and he's ready for his opportunity. So don't be surprised if we start seeing some guys continue to lose minutes and some guys could start to gain because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and bro, like, you know what? I like those guys, right? I like Malik Brown. I like Chris Copeland. I like the energy that they bring. I'm looking at the lineups out there, and we just can't. Yeah, we're gonna be able to keep ourselves in some game playing with that energy, but can we really sustain when you don't have any shooters out on the floor, bro? Like, just to be honest, because like if Joe's not making any shots, like he, obviously in the second half he started to make shots, but if Joe's not making any shots, Chris Bell's not,
Who else?
bro. There's really nobody else to space the floor. So we have a Malik Brown and a Chris Copeland, like it's going to be hard to really play if they're or Quadir. Sorry, I said Chris. Did I say Chris? Yeah, Quadir.
Yeah.
If we're like, who's really spacing the floor? You know what I mean? Because now it's going to be 10 times harder for Judah to get in there and penetrate. They're going to start. So how long can we really sustain with those type of lineups, bro? We need a guy, even Benny Williams. He's not spacing the floor out crazy. You know what I mean? We really, it's so much pressure on Joe to make shots, and at this point in his career, that's just what it is. Joe, you a senior, you got to make shots, right? I love what Judah's doing. I think at times last night he overdrove and he got himself in situations. Man, I'll take the good with the bad with him because I see it every game that he's starting to improve, bro, on his decision making. His mid-range jumper is there. He was 2 for 6 from 3 last night. Obviously, he's not a great three-point shooter, but once he starts hitting a couple of those, man, it's lights out.
And the biggest 20 thing,
easy.
20 plus
and the biggest thing, he compete, bro. Every single play, my man is in there competing, bro. That's what I noticed. I don't care about all the other shit. My man is going hard, bro. Like he really competing. That's why he's going to be one of the leaders on the team.
First half. I like that first half, left to right cross to the pull up. I said, "Ooh, yeah, that was nice." He got Now he's nice, he's good, and he's gonna be all right, man, going forward. And like you said, once he has that dog in him, that he's gonna compete no matter what. He's gonna go in there. He don't care. He went in there, tried to dunk the ball. He missed it. He didn't let that. Like, you didn't see his body language change. It's rare that I see his body language change, good or bad. Like he's fuck it. I just missed the dunk. Whatever. Next play. Boom.
Next play.
He's there already. He's there already. He's there. He's there already.
He's
Next
a dog.
play. You don't let it get to him.
It's a mentality.
Coach go talk some shit to him. Woo woo woo. Next play. All right. I know I'm going back on the court. I know I'm going back out there. You need me. So, I'm gonna go back out there in this next play. So, like you said, you got to take the bad with the good because he brings it every night. His energy. I like his energy. And when he's out there, he's talking shit after every basket. Like I like the way he plays, bro.
I like the way he plays. Chris Bell, we need you to start bringing that energy, bro. We need you to, because you can shoot the ball, man. I don't care if you're 0 for 7. You're going to hit that 8th one. You got that in you. You got to bring some energy on the other end. You could be that piece, bro. Benny, listen, bro. We've been talking about you, and my man Chris Joe said you the X factor at the beginning of the year. If you bring energy and effort, man, don't even worry about scoring the ball, making shots. Bro, bring that energy and effort where you're going to the glass, where you're sprinting the floor, where you're getting easy opportunities to get ahead and get alley-oop dunks. Now you got 1 or 2 of those putbacks, alley-oop. Now your energy on a different level. Now you might hit. Now you hit your little tray ball. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. A little mid range. That's how it goes. Bring the shit that that is the non-negotiable shit that you talk about as a coach, right? You have to bring the non-negotiable shit, energy, effort, enthusiasm, bro. Where every single time, something gonna happen if you consistent with that. Throughout the game, regardless, you missing or making, turn the ball over. If you're consistent with that, you're gonna do something, or your teammate gonna feel that, and it's gonna make him do something. Bro. It's almost like magic.
Yeah, no
you feel what I'm saying? It's like an alchemy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like a real shit, bro. Like
it's magic,
bro.
No, for sure.
You said as a player and a coach, like now being a coach. You could see that a million times more, though. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep. No, I can. It's nice. I can see it right away. I can identify who's really out there doing the fluff shit, blah, 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 screaming, and who's really doing it. Like Coach McIntyre said, you got the tough and you got the fake tough. There's also real energy and there's fake energy. You know what I mean? There's one that you're doing it just to please the coach, but you're not doing me any favors. Trust me. Because I'm done playing. And even that, like, I remember Coach used to say, like, it's not for me. Like, it's for you. And I'd be like, bro, so why you, like, I didn't even understand what he was saying. It's not, so if it's not for you, why you keep yelling at me, bro. Like, but it's for me. Like he doesn't care. Coach is not trying to get to the league or it's over. His playing days are done, and his job is to try to get you to that next level. Any coach, any staff member, any strength and anybody that's on the staff is trying to get you to that next level. It's not for us. You know, we done. You know, you got your air. You're done playing. I'm done playing. It's for you. And damn. Sometimes it's like being a parent. Sometimes I find myself saying shit like, those who don't hear must feel or some shit. My mom used to say that all the time. I'm like, so shit. All right, cool. I wasn't listening. Next thing you know, I fall off the bed, my goddamn elbow bleeding. She's like, damn, yeah, you're right. So it's the same thing. Like as a coach, I find myself saying the same things that coach used to say to me. I'm like, damn, I just unlocked a new level of coaching. I'm quoting coach. Like I'm quoting coach.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? So it ain't for me, man. It's for you guys. They got to realize that and just, kind of get together. Again, not to take nothing away from the team. They done won 4 in a row before falling short last night.
5 was it?
Sure
I think it was 5.
Five in a row.
Was it 5, Jordan? Was it 5? I don't know. 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah, wins in a row before last night.
5.
Yeah, it was 5. Yeah.
5 in a row. 5 in a row before last night, and I'm sure there'll be a bit of bounce back because they know what it is. They know what made them successful. You know what I mean? So they got to just go back to the drawing board once again and hopefully get 3 in a row from here, like 3, 4 in a row again. They got to win in bunches. Can't win 1, lose 2. They got to win 3, 4 in a row. You could fall 1, whatever the case is, but they got to keep it going. They're on the right track. They're not way off. They're on the right track, heading in the right direction. And it's just a matter of tweaking a couple little things and they'll be straight. And again, that comes with just continuously getting that game experience.
Yeah, I honestly, I like the players. Like, I think we have some really talented guys. It's just going to take some time, obviously, to for them to learn the zone and get accustomed to different game situations. But I don't know if Coach really thought he was going to have to play these many guys. Like, one thing I do know is that third guy has to be established some way, somehow. The consistency has to be there. Benny Williams, Chris Bell. Just bring that effort and energy, bro. It's going to make a difference, man. Don't worry about making shots and doing that. Find your role. This is your role right now. Buy into it. Coach McIntyre said everybody bought into their roles. That's why they won a national championship. Everyone can't be the scorer or be the guy. The established leader of this team is Judah Mintz. Like, the guy he's the emotional leader. It seems like he's talking the most, right? You have your veteran leadership with Joe, and Jesse and Symir. We need Benny to come in, be the energy guy, be a grinder. Chris Bell, be a guy that is a floor spacer who could run up and down like a deer, who might catch a body in transition one time, or be that wing on the that defensive wing who could go and drop and get a steal and take away that high low, or sprint out to that wing. That's what we need, guys. And it all comes down to energy and effort. That's what we're lacking. Defense and rebounding is what? Energy and effort. That's what it comes down to, man. We could talk all day. Yeah, you hear Coach Boeheim talking us. We got to play better defense. We got to rebound. They asking them all these in-depth questions. Simple as that. Motherfucker, that's what it is, bro. But yeah, man. Shout out to the young fellas, man, because I know they probably put a lot of pressure on themselves. Yeah, keep going, man. A lot of people putting pressure from you on the outside. Keep going. We with you. Constructive criticism. Me and Chris Joe, we always gonna keep it 100 with you.
Because we've been there. But again, as long as they don't forget that we've been there. So
we've been there. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Always ask somebody who been there and done and have done it. You know what I mean? So, but hey, Joe. I want to shout out again, Coach McIntyre, for coming on.
Yes,
national champions, first men's soccer national championship in program history. So that was a big time interview. And then holidays coming up, Joe. It was the holidays. We won't be back until, I believe, January 4th. So we want to
Yep.
make sure everybody has a happy and safe holiday. You know, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's. You know, enjoy it with the
Kwanzaa,
family and
all that.
friends. And hey, y'all go ahead, man. Grab you one of these.
Tis the
We got
season.
this the season. we got the black and gray on deck, and you know Chris Joe, he got the 3-2 jerseys, the script. Holla at us,
Yep.
man. You already know
Yep.
what we're
Yep.
gonna do. Chris and Devo, let's get it. You already
We out.
know. Happy holidays, y'all.